oil cap. That's not supposed to be like that.
If it's rusty, we're into it!
So one tough old fart, or a ratty one, is cool for a lot of reasons, but it's missing a key ingredient to make it even cooler. Fire. Everything's cooler with fire. That's just a known fact. First things first, I've got to send you back in time. We ripped the exhaust off this last time we went to Summer Nats, and that's no good. We need the exhaust gases coming out of them stacks in the rear. So send you back in time to where we fix that exhaust. We're back with ratty one. It needs an exhaust. Let's get it on the hoist. Summer Nats to rip the exhaust off, coming off. The noise is coming from here. Should be coming from here. I just wanted to turn the car around and we're already bogged. I didn't hit it with enough speed. Alright, so we've got this absolute nugget up on the hoist, and I think it's the first time it's been on a hoist and I've really got to look under it. It's pretty rudimentary. So as you can see, it's on the 1 tonner chassis. The spring perches have been moved up in the back. Homemade lowering blocks. And as for the body, there's just like bits of angle iron welded to the body and then bolted to the chassis. I do need to chase these brake lines because we've got a leak somewhere. So the hydro's not really working in the rear at the moment. Hopefully that'll be an easy fix. Yeah, as you can tell, we ripped the exhaust off. So I'm gonna try route this a bit better, get it up in this hole, whereas before it was hanging down under here. You want the middle of your exhaust to be as high as possible. With the front wheels, the front of the car is not going to hit, the back of the car is not going to hit. It's in the middle where it scrapes going up and down. This all, I might weld some of all this up because this is pretty rat shit. So yeah, we'll just get this bit of maintenance done, do a bit of cleaning, and if we get time, we'll get onto some more fun stuff. Look at that, mate. Bloody sealed up. I didn't have any exhaust pipe, all I had was a bit of fence post. And I started trying to make it to work and I just couldn't do it. I mean, rat rods are about using what you got, but that was just rubbish. Trying to make a 90, cutting slits in it and re-welding it. I might as well go dumpster diving at the exhaust shop and pick something out of there. Dumpster diving, great success. Alright, it's the next day because I ran out of gas. Don't mind the dog shit welds, but that's our exhaust. I still need to weld this up in here because I ran out of gas. It was pretty late in the afternoon and I wasn't prepared, so I just rushed everything as quick as possible. I can do some better work than that. But anyway, that's perfect. It's good enough for this fucking thing. I'm gonna go swap out the gas bottle, weld the other flange on, bolt it all up. That's exhaust done. Look at that, mate. What an abomination. Tucked up nicely, especially in the middle here. Before it was under here, which meant it was lower than the frame. The lowest part of it is off the header, but that's pretty close to the front, so it should be all right. That thing can scrape along the ground and she'll self-clearance eventually. Alright, so that's that beautiful craftsmanship, which is shit, but plenty good enough for this thing. And we got the exhaust coming out the stacks in the right place. Mint. So now we're going to move on to the ignition system for the exhaust flamethrower. Snap, crackle, pop, anti-lag, whatever, it's awesome, it's cool. This we're going to do a bit different. We want to be able to have consistent flame coming out of the stacks, and I've come up with an ignition system standalone to do that. We don't have to run off the distributor or look for a signal or anything off the engine. Full standalone ignition. I've done a little bench test at home, and I'll show you that footage now so you can kind of get an idea for how it all works. Alright, so we're going to work on the ignition system for this flamethrower. That's going to be the spark plug in the exhaust that is igniting the fuel. First things first, you need your switch relay to turn it on and off. A good tip if you've got relays and holders like mine is to just write what number the pin is and where it is, so you don't have to pull this off and on and look at the bottom of it. Unfortunately, these are the only holders I could get that are only 2 colours, so we'll reference numbers, not colours, because they're all bloody different. This is what's going to bring the full 12 volts to our ignition system. Number 30 is your battery positive. Number 85 is going to go to our ignition switch, which will bring power from the ignition. And we'll put a switch on here so we can arm it and disarm it. I'm not a how-to channel, but this is pretty simple. Even for someone like me that's scared of wiring. Switch. This end will go to your ignition switch, or key on 12 volt power. This resistor, this condenser, and this coil all came off a Datsun 1200, so you should be able to find them pretty cheap. A condenser, the wired side is your positive side, and then the hard case just grounds. So I guess we need to actually put a wire on that. I'm just going to friggin' twist and tape this on. That'll do for now. The other switch side, right? Battery, ignition switch, which turns this relay on, then sends power out this side. We'll go to our relay, which would be power in, so number 30. This will also go to our positive side of our condenser. This is going to make no sense. I'm sorry, everyone. So our first switch, battery power number 30, ignition switch number 85, which will go to power in your ignition. We then have 86, which is our ground to chassis. We then have 87, which will go to our positive side of our condenser and our power in of our other relay. And our other relay, we've got 86 going to ground again, as it should. And then we are left with 87A. We don't use 87, we use 87A, and 85, which will go to our negative side of our condenser and into our ballast resistor. This bad boy. Ballast resistors don't have an in and out. I think it's just whatever way you want. I honestly don't even know what they do. And then our other side of our ballast resistor goes to the positive. Woo! Turn my switch on. We should hear a high pitched noise, which will be the relay clicking on and off. Fat, juicy spark. On, off. That works so good. So simple, so easy. Right, so we've got the ignition system. It's all working. Now it's time to put it into the car, wire up that switch somewhere we can reach it, and get them spark plugs in the exhaust. After that, we've got to work on the fueling. I'm waiting for bits to make a bit more of a legit fueling system, but I think I've got an idea where we can dodgy something up for now and get this video out to you. This is already where the wiring gets scary. Lucky this mess was made by me, and I think I remember. But this is our power block. That'll be power from the battery. We'll put power on the other side of our main ignition switch. That'll be our ignition. And then we'll put another switch, put it in the dash. This is our headlights that we wired in. And this is our rudimentary indicators. Yeah, mate. We're kind of midway through installation. Mounted the coils up under the rear parcel shelf. The wiring's all still just dangling down here for now. If I turn this little switch on, we should have spark. That's the relay turning off and on rapidly. And here it is. You need oxygen and fuel to make fire. That's why the spark plug's so far up the exhaust. Hopefully it gets a bit of oxygen with turbulence in the end of it. Trying to think of a temporary fuel solution. Do not try this at home, everything's plastic. There's a washer bottle. I just stuck it in the esky for now. I've just put a bit of water in there for now and crush the end of this pipe. Eventually I want to get like a nozzle jet and then a weld-in fitting and weld it into the exhaust with a bit of hose and a NOS jet, and that'll inject the fuel into the exhaust. Let's see if she squirts. Oh, Jesus! I miss her. I think it's pretty obvious what happened there. The fuel's not getting atomized with that crushed bit of pipe, so I'm going to have to wait until the jets come in to properly atomize the fuel in the exhaust, because the fuel's got a long way to travel up them stacks before it sees spark. So the fuel was probably just pooling in the bottom, and that's why I was only spitting flames when I revved it up to get that fuel to actually move. I've never done this before. This isn't a how-to channel. I'm just trying to figure it out as I go. And I'm bringing you lot along for the ride with me. But the goal is constant flames at idle. I don't want to have to rev it up. Oh, I'm sick as a dog. Still working on this thing. We were positive we had a broken axle. The axle's completely fine. God, I do terrible camera work. The axle's fine. That means we've probably broken the diff center. Or the welds on the diff. So now I've got to pull both axles out, pull the rear cover off, and investigate further. Axles on old Holdens are easy. You don't even have to take the brake off the thing. You just undo 4 bolts, rip the axle out, put a new one in. I feel like it's a blessing, but it's not really a blessing. It's going to be a pain in the ass to have to do the diff center. Oh well.
Alright, well, that's not supposed to be like that. Bloody heck. We've broken the bloody spider gears out of the dog. which doesn't really make sense. Yeah, that sucks. But I don't really want to pull the whole center out. The other diff I've got no idea if the ratio is the same, so then I might have to change the pinion as well, which means pulling all that out. I wonder if I could just weld a bit of plate in there and friggin' send the dog. Oh, what a pain in the ass. Or maybe I could weld these side gears to the casing. Either way, none of it's an ideal situation. Right. So the rear brakes are run off a hydraulic handbrake up in the cab. And we split a line like years and years ago. And I couldn't remember where the split was, so I stuffed around for ages, started bleeding it, was actually getting some pressure in the braking system, and then obviously this split made itself known again. And it's right here in the middle of a line, in the longest part of the line as well. That goes all the way around, up around the fuel tank, yada yada yada. Back here into the rubber hose, and then across to the brakes. So that's a pretty shit spot. We do have a union here, which then goes up into the cab, into the handbrake. But right now, I don't have a flare tool. I'm thinking maybe if I like just undo all of this side and make it a straight shot through the rear firewall straight to the diff, I might have enough length. I'm not sure. I also have a Datsun brake line, but the odds of friggin' 70s Holden and 70s Datsun being the same, I don't like my odds. Japanese versus Aussie, who knows? I don't know if brake lines are pretty universal or not. But we'll stuff around with that for a bit, try to get the handbrake working, because that would be nice and handy. Handy handbrake. Alright. We got the Datsun brake line in there. The fitting wasn't the same on the hydro here, so we connected to the uni under the car, back to the diff, and we're just doing a bit of a bleed, and then we'll lock it all off, give it a real yank and make sure nothing's leaking. But so far so good. Now the way I bleed brakes, and I don't really care about your opinion because it seems to work for me, is at the bleed nipple in the back, put that hose into a bottle and make sure it's submerged in liquid. Give it a few good cranks at the brake pedal or the lever, whatever you're bleeding, and then come and lock this off. That ensures it doesn't suck up air because it's submerged in liquid. If it's going to suck up, it's going to suck up liquid. You pump, 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 pump till there's no more air coming out. Come out, lock this off, top her up, done. It just means all you want is the fluids to be 100% filled with liquid, with brake fluid and no air. So that seems to do the job. It takes a lot of liquid and a lot of pumping. So like it's a bit wasteful, but if you're solo, it gets you out of a pickle. So now I'm gonna check for leaks everywhere. I've already done it, but you wanna clean things, obviously with brake clean or whatever. You can burn off oils, etc. like that if you really want to. Don't be a friggin' dickhead and do it near fuel tanks or fuel lines, obviously. But yeah, if things are all wet and oily, It makes it hard to see where the leak's coming from, especially when you got shit lighting like my shed. But if you give it a spray and a quick, then it looks all dry, and then you'll straight away spot any sort of wet patches that come through. So I went through all my joints in the brake line, etc. All mint. But when I was putting a lot of pressure on that hydro handbrake, I could feel it pushing fluid. Like it wasn't solid, it was just slowly releasing. Everywhere was dry. I found brake fluid leaking out of the brake drum. So we got a leaking brake cylinder on this one side. So that's part of the game, man. I'm gonna have to pull that cylinder out, try to replace it, and bleed everything and do it all again. Damn! Yeah, we can see all that wet fluid underneath. I'm gonna have to pull this apart and replace that. I have a spare one here, but it's off an old diff I got no history about, so I got no idea if it's actually any good or not. I guess we'll put it in and we'll find out. Got the old one out. It came out pretty easy, so fingers crossed it's all good. Although the brake lines on that thing just like snapped, they were that rusty. Should be working on my Datsun, man. Should be working on a Datsun! Check this out. Speak up so they can bloody hear you. See that? That's weird stuff in the oil cap. Bit concerning. Anyway, fill her up with some oil, mate. She'll live to see another day. Love these things for gearboxes and diffs. Pretty inconvenient for an engine. Look, rat rods probably shouldn't have stickers, but I think we kind of cooked with that one, mate. I reckon that's sick. That looks cracker. Little ferment Frank, mate. Frankie!